Rule number one about cutting school.
I've cut school before.
To shop. Rule number one, cutting school is fun.
That's a rule?
Rule number two, cut rarely to preserve the specialness.
Is that even a word?
Rule number three, do something culturally rewarding with your time to earn it morally.
Ever since the 1951 book The Catcher in the Rye, angsty, alienated, financially secure teenagers in existential crisis over what it all means has been a staple of movies, TV, and literature. It may be easy to dismiss this as the type of privileged first world problem you only have when you don't have real problems, like finding clean drinking water, dying of preventable illness, or being accidentally killed in a pointless war. But there have been some great movies in this genre, and one that turned out better than expected is The Art of Getting By, largely due to the performance of its star, Freddie Highmore, who plays George, a solitary teenager who believes that the inevitability of death makes life and doing homework meaningless, which might lead to him having to repeat his senior year at a private New York high school. But it's funny how a cute girl can change your outlook on life, which is what happens when George meets an alluring fellow student named Sally, played by Emma Roberts, who makes George think that maybe there are some things worth living for. Sally becomes intrigued by George after he saves her from a run-in with a teacher. Though her motives are a bit murky, she strikes up a friendship with him, introducing the socially awkward George to her world of confident friends and stylish parties, while George teaches Sally the finer points of cutting class while slowly falling for her. At the same time, George, who likes to draw, meets a painter named Dustin, played by Michael Angarano, a graduate from George's high school whose bohemian artist lifestyle in Brooklyn gives George a tantalizing glimpse of a potential future that could take him away from his home life, where he's grown apart from his mom, played by Rita Wilson, and bristles at his stepdad, played by Sam Robards. There's also the looming threat of George not graduating, when his principal, played by Blair Underwood, tells George that he'll be held back unless he finishes a year's worth of homework in 3 weeks. So the stakes in The Art of Getting By aren't particularly high. The dialogue sometimes sounds like an adult writing what they think a self-aware teenager sounds like. And while the soundtrack has some good indie rock, there's so much music that the film often seems afraid of quiet moments. But what makes this movie work better than it should is Highmore, who brings an earnestness to a role that could easily come off as annoying, which is helped by the fact that Highmore was finishing high school when the movie was shot and actually looks like a mopey teenager. Roberts also does a good job, showing a youthful maturity and accessible attractiveness that contrasts well with George's adolescent awkwardness, while showing the effects of a less than ideal upbringing. The film also uses its New York setting well, with an appealing, naturalistic, non-cliché style. While George's journey to excise his existential angst might sound self-indulgent, that's kind of the point. We're all self-obsessed as children, but when we reach adolescence, we're able to assign that self-obsession meaning, when it's usually just selfishness masked by a half-baked philosophy. So George's story can really be seen as a teenager learning not to be so selfish. That the people who are hassling him, like his mom, principals, and teachers, are actually trying to help him, and that the inevitability of death doesn't mean that his life doesn't affect those around him. The title, The Art of Getting By, could refer to George's ability to skate through school without doing any work, or maybe it's about what kids eventually need to learn on the way to adulthood, that to get by in life, you need to get over yourself. The Art of Getting By isn't a great movie, but it's got some nice stuff in it, which is why I'm giving it a rating of 6.2. I'm Jonathan Kim for What the Flick.